Today we're going to look a little bit more into those Enlightenment thinker ideas. So what's going to happen is you can either read the following slides yourself or I will read them to you, and you will answer the questions that come after. There's also a copy of the slides that you can access on the right in a moment if you need to translate. So the first idea is this idea of natural rights. Enlightenment thinkers believe that human beings are born with fundamental basic rights. These natural rights included the right to life, liberty, and property. In order for people to enjoy these natural rights, other rights needed to be protected. Enlightenment thinkers believed people should have the right to express themselves, to move around freely, and to petition the government. A second idea of the Enlightenment is the idea of the social contract. If there was no government at all, people would live in a state of nature with no rules and complete freedom, but without any protection from each other. One Enlightenment idea was the social contract. Citizens give up some freedoms they would have in a state of nature, like the freedom to rob and kill people, and in exchange, the government protects citizens' rights to life, liberty, and property. To Enlightenment thinkers, the relationship between a government and its citizens was like an agreement. Citizens agree to obey a set of rules, and the government agrees to protect citizens' rights. A third concept of the Enlightenment is the consent of the governed. Enlightenment thinkers believed that governments had a responsibility to hold up their end of the social contract. If a government failed, then citizens would no longer agree to be governed, and they would have the right to revolt. This idea is known as consent of the governed. Traditionally, a government protected citizens from foreign invaders, but the government also had absolute authority over the people. A king ruled his citizens whether they consented or not. To Enlightenment thinkers, this was not acceptable. Another idea of the Enlightenment is separation of powers. In every government, there are three kinds of power. These are the legislative, the executive, and the judicial powers. The power of the first, or legislative, is to create laws to change those that have already been created. The power of the second, or the executive, is to maintain the public security or protect the people by enforcing or carrying out the laws. The power of the third, or judicial branch, is to punish criminals and solve disputes or arguments that arise between individuals. There would be no freedom if the same man or the same group of men controlled all three powers at the same time. This man or group of men would have complete control over all parts of the law. They could create tyrannical or strict and cruel laws or enforce them like a tyrant. They could plunder or rob the country by their choices and could ruin any private citizen by their decisions. Many of the kings and princes of Europe, whose goal has been to attain or acquire this kind of absolute power, have tried to unite all branches of government themselves. Another idea is the concept of republicanism. Since the Middle Ages, European leaders had gained power through hereditary or family ties. Kings and queens took the throne after another family member died. The people had no say in this process. Many Enlightenment thinkers believed in republicanism, the idea that a country's leader should be chosen by the citizens in a general election. Even so, some Enlightenment thinkers frowned on the idea of a democracy. They feared what would happen if a mob of uneducated people had the power to vote. Now, the idea of an absolute monarch came before the Enlightenment and was really one of the things Enlightenment thinkers were trying to get away from. If you were the monarch in an absolute monarchy, you would make all decisions. Yes, I mean all. You would have complete control over the land and all of the citizens. There is no elected government, so you can change laws at any time without having to get approval from anyone. It's like playing a game in gym class and being able to change the game rules whenever you feel like it. This form of government was common throughout world history, but not so much today. Let's now take a look at the flip side of things as a citizen within an absolute monarchy. Imagine how you would feel if you bought land and built a home on it for your family. Then the absolute monarch ruler took it away from you without any good reason. How would you feel? Probably not happy. This is an example of something that could happen in an absolute monarchy. The citizens hold no power. So now that we have read through all of those ideas and concepts of Enlightenment thinking, we're going to match some of those ideas to the Enlightenment thinkers who thought that. So the next few questions are going to be matching. And use your notes from this class and our information, the information from today and our notes from this class and last class to help.